Welcome. This is a discussion about stocks that we're looking at from a breaking down standpoint. At Trigger Point Research, what we do is we find some of the ways to best identify where stocks are either going to break up through a range that has been identified as a very consolidating zone that then moves to the upside or downside, and at the same time our algorithms find out when there is the opportunity to find a zone that will pass through very quickly. Now we're going to look at Walmart today because Walmart is a very interesting candidate, and you can notice by the chart obviously it's been in a very nice upward trajectory for some time. Take a look at obviously from back in March. You can go back even a little bit further here, and we can see that when you look back, obviously in the beginning of this year it was down to 68, rose up to 79. The question is, of course, where do you look to sell? I mean, if you saw this moving up here, would you get any signal when that happened? Would you look at anywhere, to buy again on the breakout here, possibly? There's a daily chart. Well, what I want to do was I want to first of all throw on what is called a map. This is a market profile map that we look at. Our algorithms actually behind the scenes are crunching these out, and you can take a look at these are very specific areas where there are high volume trading zones. So for example, if we look up here at this area up here, and we take a look at what happened here, we notice that the markets were buying this and they were moving the stock up along with the way the market was working, obviously, and investors were pretty happy. But in this range from about here to about, let's call it here, there was really not much overall volume. Look at the blue lines there. So one of the things that our assistants pick up is that, hey, look at that. There's very little volume activity there. It's moving through a zone and it's moving up quickly, but there's really not a lot of participation. At the same time, you want to take a look at what's happening now. Well, we see this yellow line, and without getting into all the details of how this works, we see that there is some breakdown happening. Now, when we throw over a very simplified algorithm there, what you notice is that, yes, it is breaking down, and if you take a look at the potential from moving from about 77.14 and did break down today through it, a very important key area, broke down a few of them. And where is it going to potentially go? Well, target would be somewhere about here. When you look at that, you look at a cross and you see there is some healthy amount of volume that starts kicking in here, and you wouldn't see that on a normal chart. So this is why when we can take the combination of a few different areas in terms of the market action, whether it's on a daily, a 60-minute, or whatever it may be, the fact is that we can see a little bit more clearly, and we've designed this algorithm to send out alerts to you. Now, as a matter of fact, yesterday we sent out a whole bunch of potential stocks that were breaking down. You take a look right here in this area here, and you see that we sent these names out of potential breaking down setups. Now, these are not ones that we are taking action on necessarily right now, but what these are stocks that are looking poised, and they're not ready, although Walmart looks like it's kind of getting there. But this is just something to keep the people who are looking at the site, our subscribers, involved with the process and giving you a heads up that these things are looking like they are getting primed to move. So we sent this out yesterday, and now right here is Walmart. We're talking about Walmart right here, and obviously what we are seeing here is a breakdown on this. Now let's kind of go back. I like to look at the 60-minute chart, for example, real quickly. Take a look at that breakdown over the last several days. We had that tremendous run up from here to here, right? I mean, on a 60-minute basis, it moved very significantly, almost an exhaustion run. I mean, you look at that and you see this, it broke through all the resistance, this consolidation zone right here, and then gapped down on a pretty rough day. And then we kind of move this forward. You look at this on a, let's say, a 240-minute bars here. You see again it broke down through there. Now on a weekly basis, when we look at this, you see this nice run here. Clearly there's support probably right about here, about the 75.52 on a weekly basis. And you have to look at the longer term as something to really stand by, because the longer term really oftentimes predicates where things will go for long-term investors. So you definitely have some kind of a support zone right here. But if you crack through about 70, let's call it 75, that's where the problems come down to about, give or take, right about here we talked about on the daily before. Now you can get a free trial to Trigger Point Research, and you can see what's going on with the activities. We send you text messages, or we send you an email exactly when it happens, and you can get 2 weeks free trial for the breaking up, breaking down, and the bounce alerts. And we've sent out several this week, and it was very good timing. So check it out. We'll be putting up these videos a couple times a week, as well as make sure that if you're interested, you can get it emailed to you directly. Just go to the site, triggerpointresearch.com. And on the bottom of every page, let me kind of show you here, there's a keep in touch. Just put your information in there. Just click off that you want to have, the TPR alerts and free trials, whatever, and simply send it in, and we'll make sure that you are getting it on a regular basis. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next week.